Hello. It's been a while since I've done a top-down style video, but I just wanted to do a quick update on my pocket size planner because I have made a couple of changes and they're kind of, well, there's one that's a big one. And so I just thought I would pop on and share what I did. When did I do my last pocket planning video? I don't remember, but I have been in pocket size for like planning life admin kind of stuff since May of 2024. And I have been in this cover since then. This is a Chic Sparrow pocket traveler's notebook in antique brown. The color is antique brown. I do not know if it is still available. I will check and I'll link to it regardless. But yeah, so basically, this change that I have done sort of came about because I got tired. I suppose, or just I was over rewriting my incompleted tasks in my capture book when I ran out of space in one field notes and I would transfer from one field notes to the other. Anything that was not tended to, I would transfer over, rewrite into my next field notes book. So, for example, when I would go from, say, this book, I got all fancy and tabbed that one. It's the only one I've ever tabbed. But when I would get through one, I'd run out of space. I'd get to the last page and I would be ready to transfer to another one. Anything that wasn't done that I wanted to keep just kind of in the front of my awareness, just that it was there, would get transferred into the new field notes or login jotter. I mostly use field notes, but I have a couple of login jotters. But so, and that just and sometimes I have like 5 pages of backlog and sometimes I have like half a book. It just really depends on what the time of year and what I have going on. But in essence, I got tired of transferring all of that backlog from one book to another. But I love my field notes and I didn't want to stop using them. And so I was like, what am I going to do? Because my system that I use, I've used I've used this particular capturing system in some form for probably about a decade. And it's a combination of, or like a smushing of GTD, getting things done, bullet journaling, and Mark Forster's autofocus system. I kind of created my own little hybrid system of just capturing all of those random little bits that need to be written down so they don't, vanish into the ether. So I didn't want to change my system because I love my system and it works really well for what it is. But I just didn't want to rewrite the backlog anymore, which is interesting because rewriting has never bothered me. But right now, I think it's the time that I'm in as far as my school year. There's a lot going on and it's just, I don't know if my patience is running a little short. It might be that, or I just want to keep things simple, I guess, and not create more work for myself. And this essentially was creating more work. So I'm like, what am I going to do? And then my little inner monologue popped in and made her presence known and said, if you just tried rings, you wouldn't have to rewrite the backlog. You could just add more paper and leave the backlog where it is. And it just popped into my head like a little, you could do this. And then I was just like, well, thank you for your input. But alas, it made sense. And the more I thought about it, the more intriguing it sounded. But I didn't want to invest upwards of $100+ into a new cover when I have this cover that I absolutely love. And so I thought, I wonder if there's a way to convert a traveler's notebook into a ring planner. And so I hopped on the YouTubes and I did a little research, and my girl Carie Harling came through for me. She's a fabulous human being. She's wonderful, and go watch her if you haven't. But she did a video several years ago where she did that very thing. And I also watched a video from, is it Scrapcraftastic, I believe is the channel. I will link that one as well. I think in that video she answered some B6 questions, I believe, as well as how to convert a traveler's notebook into rings. And so I popped onto Amazon and researched some ring mechanisms. And what I ended up with was, I also swapped out the Chic Sparrow elastic, and I went through my Traveler's Company stash and I brought out the orange. And the knot is on the outside instead of the inside, just so it doesn't interfere with the rings. And you'll see kind of what that is. But this is what I ended up with here. So these are 15. I am going to block that out, I think, because there's some personal stuff on there. These are 15 millimeter rings, and they are bronze finished, and I really like them. I will link them in the description. I'm really glad I started small and went with 15 instead of anything bigger, because it's about the capacity. This is just a normal pocket with 4 strings. It's not a pocket plus. I think that has 6. So with pocket plus, I probably could have gone up to like 20-ish, but I'm glad I started small. I'll talk more about kind of the innards maybe in another video, but I just wanted to show you what I did. So what I think I'll do now is take everything out, because I think I want to adjust that string a little bit. And then I will show you what I did, how I put the mechanism in, and then just the innards just briefly. And then I'll elaborate probably another time on kind of the specifics. So I'm going to take this apart and then I will BRB. Okay, so I've dismantled this entire thing and I've made a giant mess. I am not going to take it completely out just because of this thing in the middle. So what I did with the elastic is loop it inside the ring here, and then it comes out that way. And so the knot kind of makes a little poof in the spine if it's here, and so I just opted to leave that out of outside of the book. So actually, I want to move that down one. There we go. Okay, so in a pocket traveler's notebook with 4 strings, you have your 2 on the outside, and then you have your 2 in the middle that are connected through this single hole in the top and bottom. So what I did, and I did what Carie did. And Carie, I saw where you can do it with the rings closed or the rings open. Carie did it with the rings open, and I actually tried both ways, and I found the rings open. It's just a better fit overall. So what you do is, in these 2 inner strings here that are connected in the middle, you tuck those inside the ring. See how long it takes me to do this. Tuck it inside, and then you have these little notches on the top and bottom. So you just align those within the notch. Like so. I'm still working on like string positioning and kind of just so it doesn't get too bunchy on the top and bottom. I'm kind of working on what's the best fit for that. Ooh, this one is stubborn. Okay, nope. My. Stubborn little beastie. Okay. Okay, took us a minute, but we got there. So you have your 2 middle strings on either side within the ring attached in the little notches down here. So that is that part. And then this I haven't found to be too much of a nuisance, because it just kind of, you can rest it on the side here. So I leave this part in. It works okay. I haven't really had any issues with it. And then what I did is I closed the rings like that. So you have your support strings on either side here. And then the two strings on the outside, you're going to make a little crisscross fold. So you'll take this top here and you will cross it to the left. So right string crosses to the left, and then you will cross it the opposite way on the bottom. So you have a cross going from right to left on the top, and then a cross going from left to right on the bottom. And then you just rinse and repeat with the other side here. So left string goes to the right on the top, and then maybe, and then you have a cross from right to left on the bottom. So if this is done, and then I'm just going to make sure this elastic is pulled in the middle here. There we go. Okay, so what you end up with is two support strings, the ones in the middle, and then the outer strings create a cross on either side here. And essentially, you get a ring planner. I'm going to take my writing utensils out because they're numerous and they're clanky, because I use metal stuff. So we're going to take those out. Okay, so now we have a ring planner. I'm going to move this little guy. Oh, not that far. There we go. Just so it's kind of tucked a little bit. I found that this one doesn't give me trouble, but this one in the middle, the elastic, the closure, kind of did. I might experiment with that a little bit further. Okay, so now I'll put my innards back in here. So I'll just open those rings like so, and then figure out the chaos that I made back here. I'm going to take my clip off. So my intention with this is to have 3 sections. So I want my calendar, my collections or lists, and my capture. So 3 C's: calendar, collection, capture. And that's essentially what I've created. And I can still use my field notes. I just trim them up a bit and punch them, which I'm sure in some circles is absolute sacrilege, but I am loving it. And because these are such sturdy covers, essentially they create dividers. That's essentially what these are. Now, so my capture material is housed in my field notes kind of section here. This ended up being a mix of paper just because I did tear some stuff out when I no longer needed it, which was so fantastic. I just made it go away and I never had to look at it again. There we go. And then there's the top. So that's my capture. And I do have this in the back because it's a little bit sturdy. And I have some stuff that'll go in the pocket. So I got that bit. And then I have my collection section, sort of. It's really slight. It's just some work stuff I want to cook and bake. I'm adding all the time. I have a Someday Maybe book that I'm also going to transfer some stuff in. There's a sticky note my tech guy gave me just as a shortcut. And then this thing was somebody in our staff lounge put a bunch of clear folders, just like pocket folders, out on the table, and they're just these thin and just this thin plasticky material. And I was like, I wonder if I could make like a dashboard thing out of that. So I hacked it up, cut it, and punched it, and ta-da! Ta-da! There's, a little dashboard thing. And then I'm really experimenting with the calendar section. So I've got that going on. I'm still figuring out what kind of configuration I want. I'm also experimenting with paper sizes and measurements because a lot of this was punched and cut by hand. I eyeballed it and it's not precise. I have since obtained an adjustable hole punch, which has helped immensely. Just kind of getting those measurements a little bit more precise, and so they fit better. So I've got this thing, and I did splurge, and because I wanted to see what Filofax paper was like, and so I ended up getting a week on 2 pages, which is a spread I never really use, but I'm giving it a try in this one just to see. And then I have just some little bits and bobs. This is a little car maintenance log thing that my kid made for me, and it was in the glove box, and I had it back here in my pocket when this was still a traveler's notebook, and then I was like, I wonder if I could punch that. Ta-da! Punched, and it's just in there. And then I have a picture of him and my Empress card. I punched them and I put it in. I took my 2025 Field Notes calendar, I trimmed it up, and I put it in this clear pocket. This is a Chic Sparrow pocket dashboard. I cut it in half down the middle and punched it. Kind of getting this, theme of me and punching things. And which is the one thing I didn't expect with this is how much fun I'm having with this, because you can put literally anything pretty much in here. And I really am loving experimenting with all of the different types of paper that I have. I've got Midori MD paper in here. I've got Field Notes paper in here, Filofax paper in here. I think I even have some Moleskine paper in here, maybe, or did I take that out? But I've got all of this random assortment of paper in my house, and I can use all of it in one book. Because sometimes, like Moleskine paper, I love for just like scribbly notes, because it's scribbly notes paper for me. I don't know why, it just is. And so I can just scribble notes on Moleskine paper. My collections, my list that I want to keep for a little while longer, I can put on MD cream, Midori MD cream paper. And it's just because I'm going to keep it for longer term, which I have done here. I have loads of MD paper and random notebooks that are not used or partially full, and I just cut it to size. This is MD cream graph. I love it in here. And I can still have my field notes. I can still have the aesthetic and just the warm fuzzies I get when I see field notes and hold the field notes covers, and I can still have all of that. I could have my cake and eat it too. And I'm all about that at the moment. So I think I got everything in here. I closed the rings. So one thing I am keeping in book form for now is my reference material. Like my more long-term permanent reference material. I'm housing it in my ONP Field Notes book. I love this cover. I love this beach. I have been here many a time, and it just makes me happy. And I am just tucking that in here. I don't know if I want this in here in ring form. I'm still contemplating that, because I kind of like the idea if somebody needs this, they can just take one thing and go. And so I'm kind of inclined to leave it in book form, at least for now. I don't know why this isn't fitting as well as it did before. So I'm just kind of inclined to leave this in book form, and I don't know why I was trying to jam the entire thing in the pocket, because that's not what I do. I just put the back cover in there and it slides down nicely. And then I have these pocket-sized sticky notes, just really simple, plain yellow. I love them because they are like this size. And I've absolutely been loving having a sticky note for the day, just the day. I can write my appointments or my schedule. If I have groups at a specific time, I can note that. And then just stuff that I need to hone in on right now. That's something that I struggle with on a regular basis, especially this time of year, because I'm a real big picture thinker. I see way far in the future, and I'm also very top down. Like I kind of see the end, and I have to work my way back to get to where I am, and kind of honing in and focusing on the present, or just being mindful of the present, I have to work at that a little bit. And so having a sticky note just for the day that I can put on this right here. So when I open it, that's the first thing I see. I've really been liking that. So yeah, this is kind of what I got going on. I'm gonna keep my kid's face covered just for privacy. That's the thing. But here's the, oh, and this, I'm just using this for forward planning because like I'm like I don't need a giant, because I also use my Google Calendar because we are a Google district, I have personal Google, and it just syncs. And so I do rely heavily on my Google Calendar for future planning, but I am just using this just with sticky notes. Sticky notes are amazing. I love them. And then this is just a coming up like within the next couple of weeks kind of thing. And then I did order a month on 2 pages just because I am kind of partial to that layout, and I marked my 10-day periods. 10-day planning, 10-day mapping. It's kind of, I've made videos about it. Sylvia from Sylvia with a Plan, she's done lots of videos on working with 10-day periods of time, and she kind of took my idea and ran with it a little bit. And so she's another one to go look at for that. But I like, because certain things like budgeting, so certain things that I track, I do in like 10 or roughly 10-ish day periods. And so I like to still have that view. So that's my month on 2 pages. This is the Filofax weekly, week on 2 pages, and I have used it. And and another thing I like is I can put only a few weeks in here, and it's totally fine. There's my 10-day cutoff right there. This was me experimenting. I found this layout. What planner was it? I think it was a Nolte. So it had like a vertical style with the calendar up top, but then all of this was blank grid. And I recreated this once actually in a 018, which was the undated, which is the undated Traveler's Company insert with the vertical, but I covered it in grid and I blocked out all the times, and I used it, but not for very long. And so I was like, well, but I did like it as an option, and but look at me, I'm drawing in an Alistair method just because it's kind of my comfort blankie spread if I'm going to look at a period like this. So this is an Alistair method style, and this is just for a week because I am in that point in the school year where my time is very driven by the week, like the work week, and then the weekend at the end. And so I do have this going on now just because it's what I need for right now. And then I also did it vertical. I don't know which, I tend to like this a little bit better. I don't know. I'm still playing with it. And that's the fun thing about rings. You can put in and take out whatever you want, and it's fantastic. And I put in some notes pages here for this. Came with the Filofax. So I got that in there. There's my makeshift plasticky dashboard. Just a couple little collection things. Building that, and then my capture material. I've got a mix of paper. That's MD blank, MD cream blank, MD cream blank, MD cream. That's the field notes. This is the Signs of Spring edition. It's beautiful. The cover is like really textured, and the foil, they all came with different color foil. So I opted for the green, and then I've been having a lot of fun playing with my Sarasa Grand Body components because they're all the same and you can mix and match them. And so I just kind of have this going on a little bit, but I don't have the green black in here. I have the Viridian, which is more of like a spring green. It's a 03. See it here. I don't think that's going to come through. But it's like more of a bright kind of Kelly springy green versus, because normally the green black would go in here. So this is the green black and this is the camel. And when I mix and match like this, whatever color is on the bottom, that's what the ink is, or a tone or a shade or a tone of that of some sort. So I've been having fun with this, and I'm just playing around, and I'm having so much fun. And I just like that I don't have to rewrite, and I can mix and match paper, and I can just put whatever I want in here, and I can just play and have fun and enjoy being in my notebooks and enjoy using what I have. And I have my road trip brass clip. I still am using this in here, and I am using that to mark just kind of my current, where I'm at. Got going on there. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this. I have gotten requests about how I use my capture book and the capture material, and a video on that is coming, but I really want to take my time with it, and I think I have spring break coming up, and I think that would be a good time to do that. So I'm just kind of waiting and mapping that out a little bit. So yeah, that's my Chic Sparrow Pocket TN converted into a ring, and it is a little bunchy. It does bunch a little up top, and I'm still working out kind of the strings. Oh, I do also have, I forgot because it's hiding. I am keeping my, like the innards are pretty much the same. I am down to 2 little bird heads instead of 3 because I wanted to put the third one. I had this vision in my mind of where that left-facing bird would go, and I'll go get it really quickly. Left-facing birdie friend ended up going in my Midori brown on my dated monthly right there. I saw this in my head, and I just was like, that little birdie friend's just gonna go right there. So I do want to do an update on this too. Look, I love this cover. If I was forced to only ever keep one cover, I have to give up all my covers and I can only keep one, I would keep this. Is sorry, Antique Brown, I love you, but I would just make do with my brown just because we've been together for too long, and it is Midori stamped. I think I've had it for 10 years. I'm pretty sure we're at that point, but it's gorgeous. And I have, I know this is Love and Trip theme this year, but I was really, really wanting the coffee and notebooks. And so I have my tag. I don't know why I closed it because I was going to show you the board. I've got my coffee notebooks, Stajiki in here, and then getting back on track to where I was, I have the coffee and notebooks passport Stajiki. I don't get the passport size in these unless I love the design, and I loved everything about this coffee theme that they did in 2023. And so that passport Stajiki just hangs out in here. It provides a little bit of structure, and I can put a sticky note on here. Like if I want to put the daily sticky note, just smack it on here, and I can take it around my house with me and mark stuff off. I just love it so much. It's got me all in my feels, and I'm happy with how this is working. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out really quickly. So yeah, now I will close it up. And I like the knot for some reason, like on the opening here. I just kind of leave it there, and it makes me happy. So this is what it looks like from the top. Definitely a little bunchy. Do need to adjust the string a little bit. Bottom's a little bit better. But yeah, I think I need to work on that a little bit. And then writing utensils right now, Sarasa Grand, mixed body components, camel with green black. My High-Tech C Coletto 3-barrel, I'm about to retire this pen just because I go through these refills really quickly, and they're kind of expensive for what they are. And I pretty much just want to use my grand bodies exclusively, except, and as well as this is the Traveler's Company brass pencil, and I'm doing a little just kind of drawing stuff in with pencil. Pencil's really liberating. I like it just for when you're experimenting. So yeah. So yeah, that's my pocket updates. It's now a ring planner. And full disclosure, I did order a personal sized Filofax, and I can't wait for it to get here. Personal size is bigger than this. And I have this, it's like once I realized that rings could work, so many things fell into place as far as what I've been trying to do with my other notebooks, and they're all going to work in one ring book. And I am so excited because my issue with rings was always, for the most part, I can't write because I'm going to bump into the rings and it's going to irritate me. And I have found that, at least with the 15 millimeter, because they pretty much almost lie flush with the page, that's not true at all. It's perfectly fine and I don't even notice. And so I got possibilities that I'm working through, and I'm just having a lot of fun I've had more fun with my notebooks in the past 2 weeks. This is about how long I've been in here. Like with every notebook I've had more fun with my notebooks in the past 2 weeks than I have probably in the past like 6 months. Yeah, it's just the flexibility and the creativity, and I'm just, it's a non-fussy system too. It really, because you can just literally put anything in there, and you can make it work. And I love it so much. If you had asked me even 3 months ago that would you be talking about ring planners ever on your channel, I would have been like, absolutely not. Are you freaking kidding me? Yeah, never say never. I've learned that over and over, and I've found that to be true this time as well. So I think that's all I want to do for this one. I've been really excited about this, and I really wanted to talk about what I've done. And yeah, this will be in more videos. I do want to do a video on this guy. I have another bound book project actually that I've got going on that I'm feeling, it is bound book, but I'm really comfortable with where the contents are going and kind of what I'm trying to do with it. So maybe I'll do a Q1 2025 Techo Kaigi. Like I've done a mid-year before. Maybe I'll do a quarter, just because a lot has changed from the beginning of the year to now, and I can just kind of cover it all, I think, in that one video. So I got so many videos to make and so little time and energy, but I have spring break coming up, so hopefully I will get some stuff done during that time. I will link Carrie's video and Scrapcraftastic's video as well, and I'll links to various things if I can find them. I will provide in the description box. Yeah, I think that's all I got for this one, really, this time. So until my next one, take care and be well.